Hello. Um, what's the date today? So unprepared. It is the 7th of April, 2022. This is, I guess, a vlog, though I kind of hate that word because it's so, you know, there's so many negative connotations of it, just like menial. There's just a lot of YouTube videos of menial vlogs of shit that no one cares about, and I hope that that's not necessarily true of this. I mean, this is more for myself than anyone. I mean, look at my hair right now, Jesus Christ. But this is a vlog. It's a video log. What am I logging about? I'm logging about the things I would normally write in a diary. The things that are incredibly personal to me. They're incredibly difficult to talk to people about. And they're the things and the times where I realize the most about myself. I've heard that writing is just formalized thinking. And, this is not formal at all. This is maybe the least formal thing, a vlog. But there's nothing wrong with a bit of casual talk. And I think it helps me get the shit in my mind sorted anyway. And so what's up? Let me just recount some of what's going on with me recently. As you might know, I took a break from uni. I wanted to say drop out because it just sounds so much cooler. But I took a break from uni, maybe 1 or 2 semesters, and I did that primarily because when I sat down at my computer, I sat down to listen to a lecture, to do work, to study, I'd be so stressed and agitated that it was almost impossible for me to focus. Deep down, you might say, I didn't want to study. And that is absolutely true. Because who wants to do that? Sure, you might want to do it for your long-term success, but for your short-term success, who gives a fuck? No one wants to do that shit. And I can't control my biological reaction to mental stimuli, but that's what happened. And I couldn't do anything about that. And it got so bad, before I could handle it, but now it just got so bad that I had to drop out of uni. I had no other option. I'd sit and watch lectures, and while I retain the knowledge, because I'm a psychology student, that's kind of the whole, that's like, if anyone were to be good at retaining knowledge, it should be a psychology student, because we know the tricks. So I'd know the knowledge, I'd integrate into my other facets of my life, But the thing is, it was a bit of a dull experience. It felt like it was going in through one ear and out the other. But I still had the knowledge. Like, I still remembered the things, but it just didn't feel quite real. And I surmise, is that the right word? And look, I think that I've felt so numb and so dull in most of the times in my life. When I study, when I do things to pass the time, so I watch YouTube and I play games and I scroll the internet, surf the internet rather. Those times are just so dull and I don't feel alive. And No, I found that sometimes, or rather, the only times that I'd feel alive are times where I'd be inspired to make some art. Though even with photography, sometimes I feel a little bit disconnected. And when I'm journaling, I'm writing. I feel alive when I'm sorting out the shit in my mind, and that's what I'm doing now. And I feel alive. It's so strange, and my day is 24 hours, and maybe 99% of my waking hours I feel dead. And maybe if I journal for 20 minutes, I'm alive for the 20 minutes, and that 20 minutes feels longer than the whole day. It's very strange. And this is all, I think, tied into my mind being noisy. It's so noisy. I think that everything I do to make the agitation go away that I had before, everything that I do now that I'm super comfortable, that I've quit uni. I've quit uni so I don't get stressed anymore. Well, the stress is much less and the agitation is much less. Now that I've done that, I'm super comfortable now, right? That's what I was saying? Right. I'm super comfortable, but also very numb, as I was saying before. And I think this is all because my mind is noisy. And I do all those things to stop my mind from being noisy. And I can't imagine myself not doing those things anymore, because otherwise my mind would be so noisy and it'd be full of thoughts that I just don't identify with. And if I do identify with them, I go down a rabbit hole, It's terrible. I mean, I like to think. I'm someone who likes to think, right? But such thoughts, they hurt, I was thinking about a girl I liked once and her new boyfriend. And it's just such a terrible thought, it just doesn't, I mean, I can, my ego can do all sorts of things to justify what's happened and to rationalize everything to myself. But there's no point with that. It doesn't do anything. And it's been a year. It's been more than a year, maybe a year and a half at this point. And my mind is still here rationalizing it, even though I've rationalized it to the fullest. I've written poems. I've journaled about it tens of times. And these are not short journal entries, these are substantial journal entries. Maybe I'd put them in a blog, right? And it's just so unproductive and it's so painful. And that's the prerogative, I suppose. That's the motivation to numb myself with such things, such as the YouTube and the web surfing. I feel just fucking terrible. And sometimes in the past couple of days, that's just been my entire day, including when I'm going to work, for example. And today, I just woke up. Not literally, but I kind of had enough is enough, I felt so numb that I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I just want to leave. I want to do something to make my life exciting. But outside it's fucking raining every day because fucking global warming or some shit. The weather's so shit here in Sydney. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I just know that I want to make my life less numb. And now that I have the freedom to do that, given that I don't have uni anymore, how am I going to do it? That's the question I should be asking myself every second of the day. But I know that if I do, that's merely going to feed into my noisy mind. And so perhaps the first thing I need to do is to sort that out. Maybe meditate, maybe Buddha is right. And it's not so much the truth that Nietzsche sought, that it's like the coward's way out. Nietzsche thought that, my interpretation of it is at least that he thought that it was a coward's way out of the human experience. We were born onto this earth, that is the experience we're supposed to have. But let's be real, none of this is natural. None of YouTube, none of web surfing is natural. We're not born to do that either. Those are coping mechanisms. And so is Buddhism. So if I were to go the Buddhist route, I could meditate, and I have a little bit during this break of mine, though not enough, frankly. Or I could go the Nietzschean way, where I guess I'm forming my understanding of him now, but he would just say, fucking live in that, but be aware of it, right? Live in that mental turmoil. All the noise in your brain, all of the chatter, all of the shit that worries you, that angers you, that challenges you. Live with it. Be there with your thoughts. But is that too far gone from living in the present? Because you're your thoughts, you're not your thoughts. Your conscious experience is of the world, not your mind. Well, it is of your mind, but also it should be primarily of the world, because that is more concrete, I suppose. Though I think Descartes would disagree. I think living in the present doesn't only mean your five senses. Doesn't mean to just focus on your five senses, but also acknowledge your thoughts. Could that be? I always thought it was one way or the other. Maybe it's more than that. I guess I'm frankly not doing too well, but I mean, I bought this new camera, and if I don't use it, it's a bit of a waste. But I think it works out well. This is just another media through which I can express myself. I can wake up. I mean, I could wake up through writing in my little journal, and yeah, it's a bit electronic, but I can write in my journal, my e-paper journal. Or I still do have physical journals, but I haven't written those in a while. So I can wake up doing that, and I can wake up writing in. No, and actually, one of the other things that made me feel quite alive was doing a voice recording, such like this, yeah, like this, and I did it in a similar way to this. I just talked to myself, but now we have video, and that's more postable, I guess. It'd be interesting to watch this a couple of years down the line. Yeah. I mean, the thing I found is that primarily when you do this type of thing, you don't do it for other people. The second that your hobbies become for other people is the second you lose yourself. You lose the whole point of doing the hobby. And this is why this video is for myself. And I found that extremely true writing poems. I started off writing poems. I honestly thought I was better than I actually was, but the poems were pretty bad at the start, and I got some feedback on that, and I just kept. I didn't need an external form of motivation. I wrote it to express my feelings to myself in the future, and I look back on it and I cringe because the writing is quite bad, but also the topic matter is I've put it behind me, but it's always very nostalgic to look back on it. So yeah, and I think as a result the poems got quite good. Well, I'd like to think they're getting better. So yeah, I mean, this video is by myself. I might make it public as well, but primarily these things should be for yourself. These things, and this in particular, is something to wake me up, make me feel alive, rather than feeling dead all the time, rather than trying to impress other people. Because fuck, the quality of this video is probably shit. Like, look at, I'm literally just sitting on my bedside table recording this. So I'm obviously not trying to impress anyone. If I were, I'd throw some lights. I have some lights. I have this light. So I turn it on here. Yeah. Oh, very bright, and it does RGB as well. Yeah. Oh, that's a fun effect. It's RGB and different colors. Let's have a look. Is it changing colors? Yes, it is. Maybe it's too bright to see, but this is just white. What the fuck? Maybe it's bugged out. TCT? That's light. Interesting. This is very slow to change color temperatures, but it's blue now. Is that blue? It just looks white. Huh, maybe it's broken. That's a bummer. Oh, let's try that again. I might have to cut this. This is already 18 minutes long. What am I doing? I lost track of time. I really did. I really did lose track of time. That's crazy. Oh. Did I do it? Just so fast? Either way, I think my camera's fucking burning up, but let's have a feel. Yeah, the temperature's up, but look, that's it. I can't believe that I've been recording this for 19 minutes. That's absurd. I already did a 5-minute take before, but I guess I guess it's more true than ever. I can't believe I've been recording this for 20 minutes, or 19, soon to be 20. Like, it feels so short because I feel alive, strangely enough. Yeah, I guess this is a good, vlogs like this are spectacular for yourself because they're a signal to yourself, that they're a reminder to they're a reminder to yourself that you had these thoughts and that you are committed to them. You see, when we have thoughts, say, oh, I'm gonna go out for a walk tomorrow morning. The problem with that is that there's no proof that you said that, even though you know you said that. Right? So you can just dismiss that thought and, do your thing, do your lazy, comfortable thing. but this is not really immortalized, but in a way, for me, immortalized. And there's proof that I had these thoughts, and that if I go back, then I'm truly just flawed dude. Well, of course I'm flawed, but more flawed than I'd like to think. You see, I hope that's been good. And if anyone watches this, I hope it helps. Anything else thoughts? I guess I'll be back with another one later, when I get more shit sorted out in my mind. I haven't written in my journal. My journal has been lying on my desk off for a long time now. It might just be a couple of days, but for me it feels like a long time. Maybe half a week. Because I've been waking up at like noon, sleeping at 3, and then just doing jack shit. I just fucking feel terrible. Hopefully this changes that. Yeah. I mean, I think I'll have to establish some sort of schedule, work something out in terms of this, and I hope it's good. I'll take myself and whoever's watching, if they are, on a journey, a bit of an intellectual journey. It'll be full of random thoughts, spurious thoughts, thoughts that are just super disconnected from each other, uncomfortably so maybe. Like I'll be talking about shit that's in my mind, and I might not explain the concepts behind it very well, so it might be a bit hard to follow, but again, I'll do my best, but again, it's for myself. And look, I'm not expecting anyone to watch this. I mean, this is a fucking 23-minute video of me talking to myself. I mean, who's still watching this video? Maybe me. But yeah, I'll try not to stall for too long. This is how conversations usually don't end. But conversations that I have with people always end like this, where we tell each other, oh, I need to do something, I need to go to sleep, I need to go now, but the conversation drags on and on because there's always something in my head. It's never quiet. All right, ciao. Hey, it's still the 7th of April 2022, but I wanted to come back with some more thoughts and some better lighting. I mean, it's not great because I have a shadow cast behind me, but I just have a little video light there, just sitting on my windsill. Hopefully it's less terrible. I mean, I am sitting in front of my wardrobe as well, so it's just like an equally bad backdrop. That's besides the point. I wanted to think about creating a schedule for this, creating a regular habit for doing this, because there's not much point in doing in making one vlog and recording myself try and resolve the problems in my life once, because obviously that's not how it works. Life is not, it's not a one-off thing. So it's easy for me to say that now, but I need to make a schedule. I need to do this regularly, and doing it every day is very hard because, you know, some nights I'll be out drinking or gaming and it'll be too late to make one. But that's okay. I mean, I'll try my best. It'll be really interesting to make a year's worth of these and to see how far I can get in a year. I mean, just like 20 minutes a day. But either way, it would be something exciting for me to do because I need some excitement in my life. There's just very little. And maybe every day I'll come back with a new topic to discuss. This is more than anything a cry for help because my life is in shambles in a way, despite being so comfortable. Like, I'm just not comfortable with the way I am, the way I'm living. Like, sure, I'm comfortable physically, but that sense of adventure that I've discussed in a piece I wrote that I haven't released yet. I'll quickly run it over. I'll quickly talk about it. So, it's pretty hard to talk about, to be honest, but in the past maybe 8 years I've cried about twice, and that was maybe not 8 years, maybe 6 years I've cried about twice. No, that's not true. Oh, I guess in the past couple of years I've cried about twice. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much what that number of years is, but basically in my adult life I've only really cried twice. The first time I was drunk looking at a beautiful scene. We can dismiss that as some sort of drunk inspiration, you know, of tears. I like to use that phrase a lot, inspiration of tears. The second time I was extremely stressed and before my driving exam. And I saw another beautiful scene in some, and we're delivering a piece of furniture, and I like bumped into his car and broke his motorcycle lens. But the dude was very nice, and I captured this very nicely in a poem. I think you can go read it. It's called I don't think I've named it. It's about a wise man's balcony, right? You should go read the poem if it's up. If there's a description, I'll link it in the description. Yeah. And when I was crying, I basically started weeping without warning in front of my mother when we were driving home. And I didn't want to drive because I was so stressed out, so I let my mom drive. But that was a very good idea. that was a spectacular foresight by me because I just started fucking weeping. And my mom's never seen me cry like that in a long time. And when we were discussing it later, my mom told me that perhaps you're lacking a sense of adventure. You know, like I can see where I'm going with my life. I did pretty well in my first year of university doing psychology, and the rest of my life, I can see where it's going. I could do 5 more years of university, trapped in university in a way, and then I when I get my master's, and then I can practice in clinical psychology, and I can do that, and then what? Where's the fun in that? I can see exactly where I'm going, and sure, there's adventures on the way, but there's too much certainty in a way, and I understand. I'm extremely privileged to say that, but these are problems these are truly first world problems, right? Because our problems become more and more abstract as we solve our problems. We solve hunger through the food and water problem, the shelter problem, and then we start finding social problems, problems like that, and then like problems with materialism, material goods, problems with relationships, and then when you don't have any of those, like me, I'm into like self-improvement and whatnot. I don't have a relationship of my own, and so your problems, they elevate, they become more and more abstract, and so this is my problem now. It's you think about my problem. Oh, that's so like first worldy. That's so you're so privileged to have that problem, and it's true, right? Because I have the privilege of not being forced to do 6 years of uni, because I don't I'm not, my family's not rich. We're like middle class, comfortably middle class. But either way, I have the privilege of not having, like, I can get away with it if I don't follow that path. You know. So yeah, it's like, I guess you could say it's a good problem to have, but that's my problem. Is that I feel so empty. I feel so empty without that sense of adventure in life. That's what my mom told me, and I don't know if I completely agree, but I see where she was going with it. And that's what I'll have to work on, I think. Just do something spontaneously. Say, like, I don't say fuck the certainty in my life. I don't want I don't like certainty. Human brains, we seek certainty in things, right? Like, even if there's a small chance of something failing, we're worried about it. And so that's why we seek certainty. But, I guess certainty is never there. It's not certain that I become a clinical psychologist, and certainly not now that I've dropped uni. But sometimes perhaps uncertainty is really more appealing than certainty, because a certain life is a boring one, right? A certain life is, it's just boring. I mean, how interesting is the average person's life? You're born, you're likely to stay in the same city. You study in school, and then maybe you go to uni, maybe you don't, but either way you get a job, and then you make money, you retire, and then you die. Maybe you like to do some traveling, and maybe you have some fun art projects on the side, but your life is centered around work. That's the certainty that I wish to avoid, because you know that you're going to do that. You're going to work in 9 to 5 and then die. How about maybe there's something romantic about not knowing where your life is going, about going on an adventure where nothing is certain, and maybe you'll risk dying in the process, but you're gonna die anyway. Might as well make it interesting. And this and that's pretty good justification for doing something as cringy as a vlog, perhaps. That's pretty good justification for stepping out of your comfort zone. You're gonna die. Fuck it, you know. Fuck what other people think of you. They're gonna die as well. um, but yeah, this is. Oh, there goes my alarm. It's 10 o'clock. I'm just going to turn that off. Oops. Right here. This is already. That reminds me. This is, reminds me to check the time of this vlog, and it looks like we've already been vlogging. Fucking hell. We've been shooting for 12 minutes already. Yeah. Now I've lost my train of thought because of the alarm, but it's basically what I was saying is that I want a series to make a series of vlogs that gets me thinking about basically what I just said. It gets me more involved in life, more to I want this series, if I do make a series, and I'm planning to, I want this series to make me conscious of where I take my life, as opposed to the autopilot that you can do. You know, you can subscribe to some autopilot plan, which is basically just doing what society tells you to do, right? Get a job, work your job, go die. Not go die, but work your job until you can't work it anymore and then die. That's I don't like autopilot, you know. It's like some people like driving manual cars. You know. It's like you know, some people like driving manual cars because it's more fun than automatic. And some people like playing video games instead of watching them or watching other people play them because they're interacting with it, right? And they're consciously interacting with it. It's the difference between you watching television and, you know, doing it yourself, or reading a book and using your imagination. It's more active. That's what I want. I want a life of activity rather than a life of passivity. Passivity? Is that a word? Anyway, I prefer to be active rather than passive. I prefer to drive manual rather than auto. I prefer to go my own way and do the things that I tell myself to do, not other people. And it's important. It's so important because that's how you live a meaningful life. And again, the past week or so of my life has been living for people other than myself. What I mean by that, my job, I work in front of house at a burger shop. I'm living for other people. I'm working. The people give me money so I can serve other people. And then also make some business owners some money, right? That's living for other people. And I work a marketing job where I make Instagram posts. What's that? That's living for other people. Now this, what I'm doing now, it's not for money. It's not for approval. It's for me to look back on myself and look back on my past rather and think that was the best choice in my life. To constantly make active decisions. To live for myself. I'm not doing this for other people. You know, see, I'm not doing this for money. This is purely for myself. And look, sure, I've spent, what is it now? 17 minutes recording this video and about 30 minutes recording the last video, including the one that I scrapped. I could be browsing the internet. I could be making a little bit of money doing some Instagram posts. I could be playing games and having fun with other people. Other people? Is that for myself? Maybe it's not even, maybe that is for myself, but I don't see the value in it anymore. Ooh. It happens. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, again, we don't live for other people, and we shouldn't live for other people. We should live our own way, right? That's where being active in what you do is important. And the activities that I frequently do and are ones that other people that are for other people, because when you shop online and you watch YouTube, or most of YouTube at least, some YouTube is good, a little bit of educational stuff and philosophical stuff, I think is very important. But for the most part, YouTube is for other people. It's, sure, you're being entertained, but really, who benefits? A, YouTube, B, the content creator. Right? So you do those things for other people, and you do them passively. And a lot of my time thinking, well, all of the times when I'm doing stuff like this, like vlogging or like just being alive, or like writing or like journaling, right? I think back and I think, okay, how can I stop being passive? How can I stop watching YouTube? How can I stop shopping so much online or scrolling or web surfing? It's like, how can I defeat these passive things? But maybe that's not the question I should be asking. Maybe the question I should be asking is, what active things should I do? Because the passive things are only there. The passive things are only in my life and only taking up my time because I have no active things to do. Well, I'm not, also not that I don't have any active things to do, is that I'm not actively doing them. I'm not actively persuading myself to do them. I'm not actively motivated to do so. And that's perhaps why I do such passive things, is because I don't have the active thing to do. And so you always default to the passive thing. You'll always default to living for other people. Damn. And yeah, and this is just another active thing for me to do. And this active thing, vlogging, hopefully will help me find other active things to do. And perhaps I will enjoy my break from uni for once, instead of just rotting away at home and taking a rest, because passive resting, spending a year passively making a little bit of money, but otherwise rotting away at home, it's not what I want. I've done it again. This video is 20 minutes long again. Again, if you've watched it, you've watched all 40 minutes. So, already. That's I don't know what is wrong with you. Yeah, I mean, now I'm just debating how I should publish this. Should I show this to my friends? Or should I just let people find it? Or should I just keep it private? I don't think it matters. I'll just do whatever. But no, you know what? I'll make it public, because having it public is, again, some sort of statement of accountability. As I was saying in maybe the last video, when you formalize things, say when you write something down, a thought down in a journal, say as the example I was making last time. Say you're gonna walk tomorrow morning. Sorry. Say you think, oh, I want to go walk tomorrow morning, or exercise perhaps. You can just, tomorrow morning, you can just forget about it. You can just be like, oh, there's no record of me saying that. For all intents and purposes, did not say that, did not think that. But if you write that down, that is eternalized. There's evidence of you flaking out on your thoughts, on your motivations and intentions. Yeah, so this gets, if I make this, first of all, the format itself, film myself already adds to that. Like, it already gives me that sense of accountability, like, because this is a record of me saying it. But also, if it goes public, then I also have the public's accountability. They hold me accountable. Might not be a person, might not be, no one will watch it. Well, even if no one watches it, and I doubt anyone will watch it. Even if no one watches it, it's still floating out there. And say I'm going to commit to a 365-day vlogging schedule. I'll upload one a day, and you only see 3 of them. It's pretty obvious that it failed. So yeah, I'll stop it here before it gets way too fucking long for one day. We're only awake 16 hours, around 16 hours a day, and I've spent around maybe 1.5 hours now messing with recording and like editing the footage. So I guess I just want to feel alive, and that's fair enough. Especially because I haven't felt alive for so long. Okay, I hope this makes sense in some capacity, and perhaps I will make no, you know what? I will make a vlog tomorrow. I will talk my head off tomorrow. I don't know what's about. About once a week I come up with a different topic of thought, and sometimes it cycles, but I'll have something interesting to talk about. I can guarantee you that I think about a lot of interesting shit. So stay tuned, I guess. To myself, that's a message to myself, I suppose, because I will need to stay tuned in order to make this video, or make this series a reality, rather. Anyway, that's it from me. Otherwise, I'll drag this on for forever.